in 2020, August 2020, and you'll see these lights. You have to tilt your head left. See those lights right there? Somehow pass. So we're not really sure how that happens, but would love any explanations that are out there.
Yeah. Well, that's very something similar than from what I'm about to show you.
I can't wait.
Trying to get this video started. Okay, well, I'm going to explain it to you before, like while I'm talking. So basically, I live in Fort Smith, Arkansas. Okay, and this is
Right.
anybody that lives in Arkansas can go to 5 News Fort Smith and find this article that I'm talking about. Um, so basically, the other night, and you might know about this, Bobby. The other night, what happened is I guess there were satellites in the skies that were lined up exactly the lines that you showed me. And so 5 News even made a link about it, saying that they were satellites in the sky built for
Starlink.
like
Starlink from Elon Musk.
there. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
that looked
That's
identical to
what
what you showed me, and that's why I thought was
there's
interesting.
that Starlink video you're talking about. Those are like
Uh,
30 of them in a row,
well, the ones that
and
were
these are
here in
only
Fort Smith
five.
were like, in a row.
Well, I guess
No,
what I'm
I
getting
just
at
what I
is
was saying is like
the camera's
I don't
pointed
know. I'm just
down,
thinking about
so the camera's pointed down, so there's no way
no.
for it
What I'm
to.
saying is the lights look very identical to that. So, like, if you're talking about aliens and being abducted by alien ships when you were little, is that those lines
Mhm.
just kind of look similar? But of
They
course,
look
they're not in
similar
the
to something
sky.
that's in outer space.
Yes, that's what I'm getting to. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. But the camera's pointed down, so there's something from outer
No,
space
no,
somehow
no,
back here.
no, no.
I just got you.
Exactly.
I just got it.
Yes. No, no. That's what I'm getting to. I agree.
Right.
Yeah. Let's see. So, that's strange. Those lights.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's pretty strange, and also I've had like one girlfriend. We were. Yeah, I got you. No, YouTube should be up now. Okay.
So, what would be your definition of what an alien is?
I mean, like what I think other people's definition is, or what the definition should be.
Know what yours is.
Um. Well, I think we have to, realize that there's spiritual realm. So there's the angels and demons, and that there
Yeah.
are. Hold on. Kill me, Smalls. All right. Sorry about that. Okay. So, yeah. So there's angels and demons, and then there's just actual like little aliens, and, like shit that we don't understand. Yeah, you can close the door. Okay. Um. So sometimes whenever I was abducted, or I thought we would call it abducted, right? Those experiences, I think some of those were actually demonic. because it felt like my soul was being battled for in those moments.
Yeah.
And it's not like being afraid. It's knowing that you're going to be okay, but there's no time stands still, basically. And it feels like, your soul's being battled for, like within, internally. The harder you try to go to sleep or, make it past, the deeper it feels like, this thing is taking you. So those are the bad ones. Those are the ones you got to pray away.
Dude, and like the one where I got dragged down the hallway. It was strange, and I chalked it up for being a bad dream and stress, because that's kind of what the doctors say. But if I'm thinking from your perspective, I prayed, and that's when I woke up.
Yep. And so it's literally it's amazing how there's a spiritual realm and a whatever we're in. This is fun. You guys ready for this? Does he get hit live?
Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for.
So the other big thing is that other people experience it with me. So I had one girlfriend in college while we were in bed together. The lights came through and she saw them, to the point where she said, "Bobby, what in the world is that?"
Yeah.
And she backed me up on that story for years, and I'm sure she still would. And then let's see here.
So what's the lights?
Other people are close to me. The lights, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that, man.
Yeah.
That's something else, people got to realize that just because you don't know everything doesn't mean it's not real.
That's true.
Like when people, you want a definition of an alien, like exactly what it is, but a lot of it is something that is taking people at night.
Well,
that's all I know.
And this is why I felt this would be a good discussion, because what I've always thought about aliens was these creatures from outer space. I never really looked at it in the perspective of an alien being a demon or angel. That's a deeper thought process. Because when I think of aliens, I think of UFOs, lights in the sky,
right, which,
and stuff like that.
So there's definitely those two. I mean, we got to realize we're not the only ones in this universe. I mean, that's stupid. Come on.
You don't think so?
Like, look how far we've come the past 30 years in technology. We're live streaming to, 2 people right now. Or I don't know, however many people. That wouldn't have been possible 20 years ago. Like, put another 1,000 years on us. Where are we going to be?
Yeah,
probably traveling throughout the galaxy.
We might not even be here. You can. I would think that, like, if when cell phones got invented, we didn't know about them as soon as they were invented.
Fair enough.
I could believe that. So where, like, I was telling my brother how I was going to do this with you, and he said sometime in the 90s there was a B-2 Spirit bomber flying in the sky, and they thought it was a UFO, and people raved about it and kind of tripped about it, but it was just a bomber.
Mm-hmm. Happens all the time. So would you say that if how would I put this? I was going to use an example. It's the only one that came to mind. But if a girl told you that rape doesn't exist, just because she said it doesn't exist, does it actually mean it doesn't?
No, and then I could turn around and tell you, and how come we've never seen aliens? Because we've seen rape. We know rape exists.
But we have seen spacecraft. So maybe that's something you don't know about.
Maybe that's something I don't know.
So the Pentagon released last year that, and I quote, we have off-world vehicles not made on this earth.
I've seen that, and that was actually one of the questions that I wrote down that I was going to ask you. It's like, why is the government telling us about the UFOs now? Because
Great question.
that it's so, to me, I just kind of ignored it because of that.
Yeah,
Because to me, it could just be higher technology that we don't know about.
it would be a high likelihood that that is the case in 99% of this stuff.
Yeah.
That's that 1% that I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So the Pentagon came out with that, and unfortunately for everyone's conspiracy channels, it's not some big government cover-up. I mean, we were in the infantry. Like, how capable is a huge government entity? Like, how efficient are we? It's going to be hard to keep it a secret. And what happened was the reports by pilots didn't make it up the chain of command for several reasons. But now, using third-party legal ways, I think via the FOIA Act, some insiders are like telling some of these journalists, like, "Hey, ask for this report. Hey, ask for this report."
Okay.
So they can skip ahead of the administration or whoever's on top.
Okay. Right. Well, because I know, like, after so many years, they have to release information to us or something to let us know about what's going on, or did we
But
assassinate
there's so much
JFK?
that there's so many reports though that unless you know which ones to look for, you have to tell somebody or have somebody tell you, like, look at this one. There's
Okay.
millions of reports, bro.
Okay.
I mean, how often were our officers and they're just writing reports for nothing? Today I took a poop. It was the same as yesterday's. And that's in the FOIA somewhere. All right, so the alien stuff freaked me out religiously for a lot of reasons. One, because I started reading the Bible much differently than anybody else I knew, and it scared me. I was reading it and not getting what everyone else was. So, for instance, in Matthew, maybe it's Mark, but they talk about the star of Bethlehem, right?
Mm-hmm.
How the three wise men followed the star of Bethlehem to get to Jesus.
Right.
Right. So when the Bible is describing this star, it describes how it goes up and it goes down and it hovers over them. And then how, at night it goes down and they can't see it. And in the morning, or whichever way it was, it comes up and they follow it. Right off the bat, to me, I was like, that sounds like a UFO style thing. Like, that sounds like something we would call a UFO. Not that it is a UFO, but we would call it a UFO. But they're like, yeah, some star or some bright object that's silver, that's shiny. And so I was like, wow, like, no one else is like really reading this, because I feel like you guys would pick up on this. And there's hundreds of other instances in the Bible of spheres and balls of fire and silver, a lot of stuff. So
Yeah. No, I mean, I can see where you're coming from. That makes sense.
okay,
Because you
Take your word for
start
it.
thinking about no. Like, I'm just thinking about, while you're telling me this, I'm thinking about how I interpreted it.
Okay,
I was kind of thinking, like, whenever I've read that, I've read the Bible a couple times. I couldn't tell you word for word what things say, but I'm familiar with the stories. And so with that story, when you're told that as a kid and like child, studies, it's just a miracle.
yeah,
You don't really
right.
question the miracle. You just kind of take it for what it is. So I've never looked at that star like, if you really sit back and think, it's like, well, if you believe in what the Bible says and that star led them to baby Jesus, and if you're a Christian and you believe those things, how come we never question that star? But we're just kind of told when you believe in God, God is, He was, and always will be. And, that's where you kind of go on faith, I guess. And so, but if you really go deeper and you just kind of want to know what was that star that led them there, most people don't really want to know or even ask that question.
And I think we have to as modern day Christians. We demand so much out of every single piece of information we get. And the devil works,
Yeah.
he's the best at it. He has more tools to deceive you and keep you away from God. So we have to be more prepped, for this world that we live in today. Fast forward 100 years ago, you were just praying to God that it rained, or that Susie liked you at school, right? You weren't praying for our nation and for the riots and for war and constant, 20 years.
Could you not say
There's
that
a lot of information
the
to us now.
could you not say that knowing the information and wanting to know the information and trying to find out deeper is like taking the apple off the tree?
I wonder why people think that. I don't think that at all.
Well, I'm just asking, like, because
Oh,
whenever
for sure.
you go to Adam and Eve, God said, "Don't eat from that tree," and once she did, that's when things got bad.
Okay. I'm not really sure what that has to do with what we're talking about.
Well, I'm just saying. I guess I'm just saying, like, why maybe we shouldn't know about that star. Maybe that's not a question we should even ask. I'm just thinking about it spiritually.
Right, because if you start to question your faith, if it's shaky already, you will not be you will not have the foundation to sustain something you believed was the truth, and come to find out it was not exactly the truth. So what else is questionable in your life?
Right.
Is God even real?
Yeah.
It's like a
Right.
protective domain.
Right.
And I would say that the idea of judging other people is where I draw the line. Like, I can't change that.
Right.
I'm not saying if they're a good Christian or a bad Christian. To me, you're a Christian. That's where I stop it.
Yeah.
But
I
I
agree.
think that a lot of people have to realize that our kids are fed so much information that the miracle story isn't going to cut it.
Right.
It's like telling them Santa Claus is real. Well, there is a Santa Claus. It's your parents.
Right.
Don't
Yeah.
don't lie to the kids. Put your name on that shit. Put your name on the presents. You know.
Right. Right.
So when I was 25, when I was actually down there at Fort Hood with y'all, I was having some really bad, I guess, social situations in dating life, and really depressed. My grandmother just passed away, and she was one of the first people I talked to about aliens in my family, and she was all about it, and she was awesome. She believed me, and
Yeah.
I was at her funeral back home where it all started, and I stayed up till like 2 o'clock in the morning holding Colt 45s in each hand. Like, tonight is the night, Mr. Aliens. We talk. I'm going to be your Huckleberry. This ends tonight. I am done.
Yeah.
Right? No more abductions. We're going to go toe to toe.
Right.
It's going to be a hell of a story. This is all I'm all in. Well, next thing I know, I wake up, not able to move, breathe, or speak. But I'm face down on the bed. And I felt this overwhelming presence of peace and love, which is not normal in this situation. And I said, so I'm face down in the pillow, kind of like open my eyes a little bit. And I asked him, hey, so are you like the aliens? And he says, well, my name is Gus. I'm your guardian angel. And I was like, oh, snap. Like, oh. Okay, what's up, man? Like, what? I can't handle this, alien abduction stuff anymore. Like, it's getting to the point where, I'm afraid to go to sleep at night sometimes. And Gus, calmed me down. He said, "Look, it's gonna be an option for you one day to make a choice." And I said, "Well, hold on. Like, why can't I see you? I need to see you face to face. After this many years." And he said to me, I said, telepathically, whatever, said, "I can't show myself to you because if you see me for the glory of God that's within me, you'll not be able to live normally. Pretty much go to a psych house." That's how the vibes I got from it. I was like, "Okay, dude, you got it. I'm gonna go ahead and close my eyes and keep them closed. Not even gonna play that game. You don't mess around when somebody says they're your guardian angel, right? Like, okay, whatever you say, man. At this point." So he said I'd have a choice to make one day as a Christian. I could either bury my head in the sand and do what's not in my heart, or what's not what I envision I can do in my life, and kind of I'm not gonna say screw everybody else, but it should be me, keep my little cubby hole, my little corner of the world, and live life, and be loyal to God. Or option two would be a very difficult and stressful time of making a lot of people upset, but also doing the right thing that will hopefully lead to bringing more people to the kingdom of God, or introducing it to them, not bringing them to it, but introducing it to them. But I had to struggle with my sins and my demons if I wanted that to be possible, because I could lose it all, or I'll lose focus if I succumb to, and he pretty much listed all my top 10 sins, and I was like, man, this guy got me. He is good. He knows who he's talking to.
Yeah.
So, then I asked for proof. I was like, this is great and everything, but I stayed up late. I'm stressed out. At my grandmother's funeral. Earlier that day I was. I got to have some kind of evidence that I'm not just talking to myself. Can you press down on my legs? And sure enough, 3 times, push down on my legs. I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
I know you're not supposed to really test it again, but can you press down on my back? So 3 times, 3 times, and I was thinking, okay, muscle spasms happen. Because I'm super skeptical. This is some crazy stuff I just heard.
Right.
I said, well, you have my dog who's asleep at the foot of the bed wake up, walk over, and put his head on my hand, because I'm face down on the pillow, so my hand's kind of stretched out. Sure enough, Baxter gets up, walks over, puts his head on my hand. I feel it. I can't move, but I can feel his head, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, I'm good. I know I'm not supposed to ask for anything else, but can you have him go sit back down and go to sleep? And then sure enough, Baxter goes back to sleep. Then I said, I'm out. Deuces. See you around, kid. And then I wake up, come to, and I'm like, what in the world just happened? And I sit up in bed, and I look down at Baxter, and he looks at me, walks over to the window, and puts his paw on the windowsill, and looking at me did you see that? What in the what's that all about?
Right.
So
Right.
So that happened. That's when I was 25.
Yeah. That's wild, man. And it's kind of like you said. That's I'd classify that as a miracle. Which, you were saying,
I agree.
It's going to take more than a miracle for people to, to wow people these days.
Yeah, but I've been saying that story since I was 25.
Right.
I had 2 people contact me this past Sunday. One who had an abduction story that he went through, and then another one, a friend that saw a UFO while they were hiking in Washington. and that was just last
Yeah.
Sunday. Like, so people know that I've always been talking like this.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be okay. That's something else everyone has to realize. Like,
Yeah.
all's good.
Yeah. Yeah,
Is that
man.
what
That's
you're afraid of?
no, no. I'm not really. It's just it's a different perspective of thinking, of my thinking, I guess you could say. And so it's interesting to hear what you have to say. You know.
Right. Well, it's
Yeah.
definitely difficult to talk about because obviously business reasons, family reasons,
Right.
and political reasons. Coming out and talking about this
Right.
stuff isn't exactly something that I always wanted to do, but it kind of happened. So,
Yeah. Well, everybody's got a story. And this is your story.
oh, they told me to tell you that they'll see you tonight. By the way, and they ask you to wear the red underwear if you don't.
The edible ones.
Yeah, you know which one, the cherry kind. You know how they like that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I got an extra pair of
Yeah,
those for sure.
or maybe even the Mars chocolate. That's their favorite.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. What I thought was real interesting about this conversation is whenever we were talking about having this conversation, I thought of aliens in a whole different concept and idea. And I
Hmm.
think, when I told you before this that I'm very skeptical about aliens and I really don't believe in them, you kind of took my mind to a different type of aliens.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that. You definitely heard what I was saying then, so that
Yeah.
means a lot. I think that
Yeah.
people.
It,
Go ahead.
it just make, what you're saying, because, like I said, I wanted to ask questions to kind of get your side of the story. And, some of them are questions that maybe might sound like I'm doubting you, but I'm not. I'm just trying to get
Mm.
your idea and thought process compared to mine, to where, I can see what you mean by spiritual abduction.
Did I say that? That's pretty good.
No, you didn't say that, but that's just kind of how I
Oh,
see
you
it,
came up with that? Oh
because
man, that's definitely what it is.
I,
Yeah,
I,
that's definitely what it is.
I guess so,
Yeah.
because it's like, like the dream that I had. To me, it was just a dream. It was caused by stress, and I could definitely say I was very stressful at the time. But if you would have had that same dream, it would be a spiritual abduction because it wasn't a pleasant dream, and I had to pray to get out of it. Where I just kind of shook it off like it was a dream. But if I wanted to think how you're explaining a spiritual abduction, was I abducted that night by a spiritual thing?
You tell me.
I don't know. That's I don't know. I never really thought about it like that. Because I thought of aliens as this, and I have my questions on everything religion. I believe in God, and I believe that Jesus died for our sins, but I don't think I believe everything that's in the Bible. There's things.
Hmm.
There's things that like I was saying earlier about the Red Sea, how at a point in time it goes down, but the story of
Right.
Moses coming and split the sea, was that just happened to be the time of the year he was passing by that land point? I don't know.
Or
I don't
or
know
or
enough
or was
information.
it a miracle from outer space?
Or
And the
was
angel
it
an
a
angel was there to help
miracle?
him.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I mean, we've seen all these UFOs by the ocean, so don't act like they can't part the ocean, right?
yeah, yeah.
So what about this? What if this what I foresee happening, from what I've already seen happen, especially on my TikTok and a lot of people's replies, they there are there's a large majority of Christians who find what I'm saying demonic, and that I need to go check my faith or get baptized again, or insert judgment of them over me as a Christian. My faith is so foundational. Thank you, Jesus. As of this past couple of years, that's I'm unshakable. Like bring on the love in this world is how I'm looking at things. Trying to.
Yeah.
But when people that are Christians start telling people, such as yourself, you had a demon, you need to go do this, or your faith is in question, and that probably means our friendship's in question. So you need to doubt yourself. And so all of a sudden, this alien abduction thing is going to turn Christians against each other and start judging each other and questioning each other's faith, which is the worst thing. We already have the devil trying to change our faith. We don't need our friends and family and fellowship doing that.
Right. Yeah, because
that's what
when someone comes out and
that's why Tucker Carlson video I saw today is why I got so mad at Tucker. But he went on about UFOs and how dangerous they are to America.
I'll have to go watch that.
Like he knows. Anyway. So I would say the demons or the devil is already at work in questioning, legitimate angels, and also turning Christians into, I can't talk about the alien stuff. Am I really possessed? Now I'm going to go in a really dark corner and not talk to anybody about it, which is exactly where the devil wants me. Like, it's something Christians got to wake up to, because you can't isolate each other from their lived experiences. Mic drop.
I can agree with what you're saying. That's I hear you for sure. Because most people don't even want to talk or thinking about it. And I can understand what you're saying.
Well, there's a membership form. I'll send that to you on the email.
Okay.
I need your t-shirt size. We'll get you a tinfoil hat. Let me know how big your head is.
So what's the tinfoil hat for? I've always seen them.
Yeah, oddly enough, there is some science-ish behind it. But you can put your phone in 2 layers of aluminum foil on both sides.
Yeah.
And it becomes an EMR shelter. So it can't be hit by, EMPs or, doesn't have a signal, all this other stuff. And so if you put that on your head, the aliens can't read your mind, which is hilarious.
Okay.
But if aliens reading your mind is the biggest fear you have, and that tinfoil hat is your go-to,
yeah.
Yeah. Give me your bullet and your ammo and your gun cash.
So, I feel like we talked a lot about the spiritual aliens. So that night, when you were 15, would you say that was outer space alien or a spiritual alien?
I would say a majority of those when I was younger were demonish, bad spiritual side.
Mm.
And then mixed in with some actual just like weird alien like stuff. So
yeah.
But I've never seen any
That's
little gray
wild.
men or anything like that.
Right. And that's what you think about when you think of aliens is something that's like that. So you think there's more people out there than us?
I mean, since I've been talking about it the past year, I've had so many people. Like, I'm behind on a list of people who want to talk to me about it and share their experiences with me.
Really? Okay.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah. Because I feel like some of those UFOs can be explained.
You're what?
I want to ask. I want to ask those questions, that may explain what people see or think that they see.
And I mean, from my knowledge and my experiences, I mean, it's pretty simple. Just it's bad spiritual world, good spiritual world, and actual little green men from Mars or wherever.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I'm talking about more about the UFOs, like the ones that the Pentagon released. You know.
I mean, those are probably just like little green men from Mars, like actual aliens, like you would imagine them being. I'm serious.
No, you're a bit like for real. Like that's. I thought you were. Why are they little green men?
Oh, I mean, I don't know how. I don't know what they look like, but apparently they come in all shapes and
Oh,
forms,
okay.
like some kind of terrible
Okay.
Dillard magazine for women's swimsuits. Not that I look at those
Right.
anyway.
Right.
Um, yeah, the research I've done shows a lot of examples of different types of aliens,
Hmm.
but what most people experience is spiritual.
Yeah. Yeah. I could. I think I'm on board with you about the spiritual part of it. Yeah.
Somebody asked, where in the Bible is aliens gonna be supported?
Because doesn't the Bible
Do
say
you,
kind of say that there's no aliens? Like
no.
I've always been taught to believe in aliens can almost debunk God.
That what? Say that again.
Like, and I may be wrong about this, but I've always thought that if aliens exist, that God might not. Like that was a fear of believing in aliens.
Right. That yeah. Back to what I was saying earlier. And now it's kind of like being pushed in our face because of information. We're in the information age. Welcome to the next industrial revolution. And
Yeah,
information's at our fingertips. Literally, everything that's ever been known to man is in my hand. That's
that's
wild.
true. Yeah,
So, whenever people want to put those barriers up, it's going to be harder and harder to keep those barriers up and not start asking the questions that'll make you closer to God. Because at the end of the day, you're either you either say you're a Christian and you believe that, and there's no stipulations, or you say you're a Christian, but insert, I go to this church and I believe this and this and this and this. Like, there's no room for
yeah,
that anymore.
yeah.
Sorry, yeah, devil's knocking at all doors. So there's like so many churches to go to, and now you look on TV and they're saying pretty much churches shouldn't exist because there's aliens.
Right.
So that's a lot to deal with spiritually.
Yeah, I'd agree. Because I feel like believing in God is what keep people good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, when you do a good deed, you feel good.
Yeah, yeah. You're a good person, you're going to heaven. What are people going to do if they don't believe in heaven?
And see, that's where I draw the line also. And like what I believe anymore is I don't know what happens to everybody else. I know what happens to me.
Yeah,
I could divert effort that could go to my relationship with God and, disseminate it against people I want to judge, or I can spend that time and energy on my relationship with God. And I'm going to choose,
yeah.
my relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And so back to the alien thing. Yeah, aliens are real. There's demons, but there's also guardian angels. And the more that you have a question, find that answer. Pray about it. You'll find it.
Yeah. Amen.
Stop being a millennial bitch want instant gratification.
Yeah.
Amen.
Hey, for a separate topic, I want to get deeper into UFOs and like the outer space alien because we talked a lot tonight about the spiritual alien, but I want to hear
All right.
you talk about the aliens up there. You know,
Okay.
that'll
We're gonna have
be
to have another expert come on, but we'll do that.
that's cool because like I said earlier, I'm not an expert and I have no facts or proof either or. I just have the questions that will make me learn more about what you're talking about.
Envision
What
we're
you kind of
living
like what
on
you
an anthill, and a human passes above us. Do we even recognize it?
I would hope so.
As an ant? You don't know what that is, like marching past you, this huge moving object. You're just there with your little ant
But
buddies, like trying to find food.
it probably knows it's present. It's like it's there.
It knows it's there, but it cannot explain it, right? Because it's not even on the same level of IQ at all.
Yeah.
Imagine
Right.
us, we're the ants, they're the humans, right? We see some stuff, but we cannot explain it because it's so far ahead of us. It's like ants looking up at humans walking around.
But if you believe in God, then you believe that He made us, and no kind of nobody else.
That's a little selfish.
I guess
Right?
yeah. I mean that kind of what we're taught.
That's what we were taught, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I know you probably got to get going.
But that's why. Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah. We had a good conversation.
We'll close it
today, man.
out.
Two good,
Dude,
two good ones.
this is awesome. I'm definitely going to be reflecting on your questions because I haven't been asked those like that before.
Good,
It's good stuff. You're a lot smarter than
Yeah.
I thought you were.
man. I've come a long way.
Okay.
You
I
know,
can tell.
I've come a long way. Yeah. That it's I think in the army I wasn't an educated person. I wasn't
You're
I
always
wasn't
learning,
really
though.
always learning. But I think damn, I don't know, going to college maybe opened my mind up to be able to think deeper.
Learning how to learn. That's kind of how I look at it.
Right. Yeah. Almost like critical thinking.
I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it. That's what they say.
That's true. That's true. Like
All right,
like
brother.
Teasley, man. He uses that freaking energy to create the big tease that he is.
Yeah, he's
Ah,
hilarious, dude.
I'll see you at the games.
Oh, I cannot wait till that day. It's like 3 weeks away.
Man, shout
All
out
right,
to
brother.
shout out Teasley. Man. All right,
Shout
man.
out
You have a
Teasley.
good night. I hope you sleep tight.
Well, I'm going to send him
Keep it
your way
real.
tonight. I'm going to give him your address.
Hey, man, bring them on, man. I guess I
right.
won't show it to you, but I'm sleeping with the AR tonight.
All right. Well, me too, man. Talk to you soon.
All right,
Bye.
brother. Have a good one.